Hey everyone, welcome to my brief crash course on Fink's taxonomy of significant learning. My name is Jackson Miller, and today I'll be providing an overview of this instructional design model, its applications, and its benefits. So let's go ahead and get started. A little bit of an introduction to Fink's taxonomy for those who have not heard of it. It was created by L.D. Fink in 2003, so it's a relatively newer taxonomy. Fink developed this model in response to a need for a more integrated approach to designing college courses. Fink's model shifts the focus from traditional methods of teaching that often prioritize that content delivery and shifts the focus to a more holistic approach. And so that holistic approach is aiming to foster deep and meaningful learning experiences. Fink's model is structured around the idea that learning should lead to significant and lasting changes in students beyond just retention of information. Okay. Fink emphasizes the importance of designing courses that not only provide foundational knowledge, but also help students to develop skills, integrate and connect ideas, understand their own learning processes, and grow both personally and emotionally. This model is particularly important because it integrates various aspects of learning into a cohesive framework. And so that framework includes cognitive, emotional, and social dimensions. A little bit more about the model. And to give you a visual here, Fink's model is based on the idea of creating significant learning experiences, and it involves 6 key components. The first is foundational knowledge, understanding and remembering key information. You have application, so that's developing skills, critical thinking, creative thinking, and practical thinking. You've got integration, so that's making connection between ideas, people, and different areas of life. You have the human dimension, which is learning about oneself and others. You have the caring dimension, which is developing new feelings, interests, and values. And then finally, you have the learning how to learn dimension. And so that's learning to become a better student and self-directed learner. One thing I want to note here about this model is Fink's is not hierarchical, okay? It's relational and it's interactive. And so that's what separates or distinguishes Fink's taxonomy from Bloom's taxonomy, which is a more hierarchical approach, okay? So, though this model was originally developed with higher education instructors in mind, the model is versatile and it can be used by various educators and trainers in different areas. It's been used by K through 12 educators to enhance engagement and deep learning in the classroom. It's been used by corporate trainers as well to facilitate professional development. And then finally, it can be used by e-learning designers to support the creation of online courses. So Fink's model really provides a framework that can be adapted to meet the needs of different audiences. Myself, I use Fink's as both a higher education instructor and an e-learning designer, so there's some overlap there. A few pros and cons to Fink's. Benefits are that it promotes deep, lasting learning, not just retention of information, right? It encourages holistic development of learners, so not just looking at one aspect of the person and their learning. Next benefit, it supports diverse learning outcomes. So it's got all of those different kind of dimensions of learning, right, where you can target your outcomes. And then it's adaptable across various educational settings, whether it's more practical trainings or more traditional didactic kind of classwork. Limitations to Fink's are that it requires quite a bit of thorough planning and effort to implement. It can certainly be challenging to assess all of these different dimensions of learning and to integrate them into your course. And then finally, with Finks, you really have to have buy-in from all of your stakeholders to be effective, whether that's Principals, other faculty, other classroom educators, um, even students need to buy into this model, right, for it to be effective. And so understanding these limitations can help us to effectively implement the model. And here are my references. Thanks for joining.